I'm the Red Rocker Sammy Hagar here, and I had the pleasure of sitting between the two guys that are probably one of the greatest duos, most successful duos of all time.
Did you notice how he flipped from greatest to successful?
You just recanted that.
Yeah.
Success and
that
greatness.
was cold right there.
Success and
well,
greatness.
I mean,
Lots of trophies, but don't know how they got them. Yeah.
So one more thing that I've heard about you guys, before I came here, I started calling up all my country buddies and saying, so, you know, what about Brooks Dunn? Those guys cool, they get along, am I gonna go, is this gonna be easy? Everybody says you guys have two roles that are so defined, that is what kind of makes it work in the business. And everybody says you're the guy that goes out and shakes hands and hangs out with people, and, you know, the user-friendly guy, and Ronnie's kind of in the background. He just gets to sit back and do his thing. And is that true? It's not an insult. It's awesome.
No, everybody's got their role.
Yeah.
They got their thing that they gravitate
Ronnie's a
to.
nice guy, but he plays aloof well.
I've seen it. That's why I'm saying. I saw it. I saw one side of him once. But
because our differences are our strengths. You know, it's kind of the glue that holds us together.
That's awesome. Being a solo artist my whole life, and then every now and then I join a band. It's like you got to be both them guys. I got to go out and glad ass and shake hands, and I got to go up and I got to be the rock star that's aloof and cool and, you know, mysterious. And then I'm on the radio trying to sell my shit. You know what I mean?
And you're great at all of it.
Well, I'm learning.
Well,
Now, this is a great song. Speaking of great, this is a great song. This song's called Bad on Fords, the Chevrolets.
written right here in this barn at that coffee table right there.
Boom! Look at that thing.
Look at
And
that.
you got it and told us what a 429 was.
Yes. Just listen to these lyrics, folks. Ain't no rock guys can write this kind of stuff. This is just pure.
And the words, too.
Okay. Hey, I'm choking.
Ain't no rock guys can play that shit either.
Watch this shit. Ronnie, go.
Am I going to sing it first?
Yeah.
I'll sing the first part.
Yeah.
Well, hey, pretty thing, let me tell you, I was raised on the Rolling Stones. I cut my teeth on Led Zeppelin, Billy Gibbons song. I learned to play the blues in Memphis, how to fight in Texas bars. Did a little time in Oklahoma for hot wiring cars. Well, I'm a rocker on the road just like Tom Jones. Got a ass hauling 442. Well, I'm bad on Fords and Chevrolets, but I'll be good to you. Woo! Now you gotta sing it.
I'll get it. Watch this. I ain't even gonna look. Hey, pretty thing, I guess you heard I rolled a Mustang 429, running from the law in Kansas City. The car wasn't mine. No, I'm rough around the edges, and I don't do debutante. There it is. Honey, you got the juice, you got the junk to get any man you want. Well, there's a rocker on the road like Tom Jones, ass hollering a 442. Well, I'm bad on Fords and Chevrolets, but I'll be good to you. Hey, Kix in the house! Woo! Woo! Let's do that chorus. Hey! Now what about this verse?
Not bad. Is it another verse?
Yeah, watch this. That was a badass solo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another rock and roll road trip. We're gonna probably see you next week at some time, but in the meantime, we got another verse. Hey, pretty thing, let me show you my L-A-E tattoo. If we ever get out to the city of angels, I'll buy you one too. And then what happens?
Keep going.
Bye-bye, see you next week. This down and down.
My favorite part.
I think we got a car back on our hands.
Hey! but I'll be good to you. Here we go. Take it on home. Bad on Fords and Chevrolets. Well, I'm bad on Fords and Chevrolets. Woo! I'm bad on Fords and Chevrolets. I'm bad on Fords and Chevrolet, but I'll be good to you, baby. Welcome back. Before Kix Brooks stops by, I wanted to sit down with Ronnie and talk to him about life, success, and pick his brain a little to see what this guy is all about. Hey, the Red Rocker Sammy Hagar here. Welcome to another rock and roll road trip. This is kind of a rock and country road trip, and I have the pleasure to be sitting next to what I think is maybe one of the greatest country singers of all time, and he can also sing rock because we've done it together, and the pleasure of sitting in his domain, right here where he does most of his writing, probably most of his partying, and most of his probably damn near everything you do. I won't get into that, but Mr. Ronnie Dunn in the house.
Say it, Sammy. Call it. Thank you.
How are you, sir?
That's awful nice of you to say.
Well,
Welcome to the doghouse.
this is a mighty expensive looking doghouse now.
You know, it was a 16-horse stable. It built like in the 40s when we bought the property, and there were no ends on either end back here, and it was a hayloft, and that's where we're sitting now.
I should have been a country artist.
You are. I wish I had been a rock star. Yeah.
Well, we've done shows together. I think the last time I saw you was on the Oklahoma Stadium show, where you just sent me a picture of us hanging around backstage a little bit. How's your songwriting evolved over the years? Like, how do you figure your first early songs compared to the way you write now? Are you getting any block?
One day I sat down and said, you know, if I'm really going to get serious about this, and I was in Oklahoma before I came to Nashville, I said, I'm going to really have to go at this seriously. So I sat down and I had a big dinner table in front of a window at the lake, a Grand Lake in Oklahoma. And I remember having stacks of typing paper out, and I would scribble all these song ideas. And I came up with Neon Moon, Boot Scoot Boogie, Hardworking Man, She Used to Be Mine. There were 5 or 6 of them. They all became #1 songs.
Wow! And you wrote
after we
all
got
at
together.
once?
Yes, not all in one day, but over a period of about 2 weeks, they were all just scattered everywhere, all over that table.
So how the hell did you get so serious? What caused you to get? And what do you call?
I think I just
serious?
stopped and focused. I think I just stopped and get real.
Do you enjoy being a solo artist to where you just feel like you don't have to explain nothing to nobody, or do you enjoy having a partner to bounce off of?
I enjoy having a partner to bounce off of.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the introvert in a big way in that scenario. So
having somebody to bounce off is, man, that's a God gift, you know, especially if they cover a certain base for you.
Yeah, and
I understand you guys.
You well know.
Yeah.
You're out there hanging 10, by yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I have to sing and do the talking.
Yeah, and do the radio say, and do the photos.
Yeah. Yeah, and the meet and greet, and
Woo, yeah. So, what do you want to do next in your life? I mean, you guys are back together. Like you broke up at one
the tour
time.
it was fun. We had a bunch of things happen. Cool things happened last year. They snuck us into the Hall of Fame, and we had a record come out, this reboot with a bunch of new country artists that happened. So,
is anybody on that record that you would have liked to have worked with that you didn't get to work with?
Didn't get to?
Yeah, looking ahead, like is there somebody you would?
No, I mean that was a good group of young up-and-comers that I was really impressed. I love what Casey Musgraves did with Neon Moon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's great singer.
Yeah, but more progressive stuff like that. Yeah. She was good. And Luke Combs, I think he's becoming a new kid. He's like a big superstar in country now.
I love Luke, man.
Yeah.
Come on, ice cold, tall, cool. I could have never broke my heart. I mean, if that ain't one of the greatest country lines ever. How have you seen the changes in country music? I see it changing, but you must really see it. How do you feel about all the changes? Where is it going? Do you like where it's going? Do you prefer the old style? What's going on in country music here?
It's generational. I mean, it's in each generation. They they listen to different music, and it's a different culture. And it is in your genre too, you know. I was listening to the Eagles. That was a country band to me back in college. I was thinking, man,
absolutely.
Yeah.
If Seeger and the Eagles were coming out today, they'd be
Seeger, I was listening
country.
to him the other day. I mean, and I cut against the wind on some stuff, but he's a country writer.
What do you call success? I mean, you've had enough success for 5 artists, so what makes you feel like it's success?
Success is, I mean, to me, it was like, you know, staying married, keeping a family together, you know. My kids, you know.
Right. That's so good.
You know, I've just said this forever. You know, my kids raised me. You know, I look at them and go, they're great. I have a son in California, in Sacramento, that's a school teacher, just got his master's and is working on his PhD. It's like, holy cow.
Wow.
You know?
Well, that's good. You want to play a song?
Yeah.
And Kix is coming by, right?
God, I'm going to have to go hide all the expensive silverware.
Sounds just like my band. Let's go see him. We'll be right back. Hey, Sammy Hagar here. Welcome to another rock and roll road trip. We are back now, and now we don't only have just Ronnie Dunn, we have Kix Brooks in the house. Kix.
Thanks.
We know each other a little bit.
We've run into each other a couple of times. We've avoided a couple of fights.
So far. Yeah, don't get.
I like our chances. We're nice guys.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I did some shows with you guys in stadium shows where you guys. I was the rock guy, the token rock guy on the shows, and so got to hang out a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember, but what I did once was, I think it was in Arizona. There was a curtain and it had. Your dressing room was right there, and I looked in your dressing room because I wanted to say hi to y'all before I'd ever met you. And you guys had a bottle of tequila sitting on there.
Well, that's why we don't remember a lot.
Well, you probably don't remember this, but it was probably the best tequila you ever had. I took that tequila out and I put my own, that's when I still owned Cabo Wabo, and I put a bottle of Cabo Wabo in there. And I think what I heard is that there was some noise about, hey man, this ain't what we drink. But you probably got used to it. I mean, once you had good tequila, you can't go back.
I think we still have it.
The bottle.
I might have signed it. But anyway, tell me something about this fellow that nobody else knows.
He's a really good family man and a grandpa. He would hate me saying that probably because he likes to think of himself as a 20-year-old. But
well, don't we all?
He's got grandkids. I don't. But it really changes your perspective. Even as long as we've been together, to watch him talk about his grandkids and to hang out with him and whatever, it's a big part of his world, and that makes me feel probably better than I did before.
Yeah.
It's like he's got some normalcy to him. You know?
Maybe he's not so poisoned.
Yeah.
Well, being a duo is tough. It's like being married. I mean, you guys spend more time together probably than you do with your wives when you're in the heyday of going out on tour.
You do, and you give up a lot too. Yeah. You know, we talk about it all the time. You give up certain things. You have to learn to, obviously, like a marriage compromise, and it's a challenge.
Yeah.
What's the biggest fight you guys ever got in, and then about what?
It's usually about music, trying to make an album. But the truth, this is the honest to God truth. We have, in 30 years of working together, we have never raised our voices at each other.
True.
Wow.
That's true.
So
wow.
We shut up grown men, you know.
Yeah.
I think we shut up to the dance grown men, and it just, you realize, hey, we're lucky to be here. You know, let's don't rock the ship. And if you got to push it that hard, it's not worth pushing.
When you were growing up, what were you listening to? Were you like a country guy out of the box, or would you go through different music?
I grew up literally about 3 blocks from Hank Williams' widow, Billie Jean, and she was married to Johnny Horton after Hank died.
Wow.
And their daughter was so my first gig was when I was 12 years old, was actually in their driveway.
Well, that's great, but I didn't ask you what you grew up on. I mean, you moved around a little bit. Were you ever into rock or into folk music?
Well, my dad was a wannabe country singer. Had a radio show in Abilene, Texas when I was growing up. So it was always in the house. You know,
Bloodline.
The most prized possession of our family was my dad's Martin guitar, D28. But I remember him for real, Sammy. In Midland, Texas, there was a tornado on the ground. He had the family in the car. He parked it on the highway, got one of his buddies that was with us, and took off to go to the house to get that, toward the tornado, to get that guitar.
Oh man, yeah, okay.
You know,
Well, I didn't.
not to save his mother and kids, get that guitar.
I didn't realize. That's great.
It's
well, what
funny, with all that country, not to interrupt you though, with all that country though, we both found a real common bond when we got into high school and started getting into college. We were both in the rock stuff, and he was in Tulsa. We were both big Leon Russell fans. When I heard Allman Brothers at Fillmore, I went, "Holy crap! Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Those guys can play." And then all of a sudden, that's what I wanted to do, wanted to be.
I mean, what's the most difficult thing to you about having a duet partner, not just being a solo artist? You know, like you.
What Ronnie said, compromise.
Yeah.
We had both. I was 36. He was 38 when we met. You know, we were
grown men.
Yeah, I mean, nobody.
Kind of.
Who starts a 20-year run when you're almost 40 years old? It didn't make any sense.
Well, two grown men that are fixated in age at 19.
It is, yeah.
We're 19 years old.
We'd both had our own bands and
Still
done our own things for a long time. So all of a sudden, we're both going, "Who are you?" And we screwed up and wrote our first 2 number ones the week we met.
You guys are doing pretty good, and I'm kind of having a little hard time with my career. And I was thinking about, about Brooks Dunn and Hagar, but we'll get into that later.
I think
Lieber will straighten you guys out. No, I can keep you guys together for another 10 years.
I like this.
Brooks and Dunn got bigger.
Worse comes to worse, we got a hell of a guitar player.
I'm afraid Brooks and Dunn might be done if you had me. Okay, so this or that. Vegas residency or on the road?
I think the fantasy's on the road, but man, the quality of sound and everything else is in Vegas.
Country or rock? That's a stupid question, but hey, I'm stupid.
Country with a kick.
Yeah. I mean, we both really respect it, but when you get on stage, I think we both got a rock bone.
How about tequila or mezcal?
No.
That's your question.
Sore subject. Sore subject.
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
I owe you.
I'll stay away from it. Tequila.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel or Hall & Oates?
Man, too.
Yeah.
See? See?
Paul Simon just wrote some brilliant freaking songs. I can't just pound for pound songwriting. You could put him up against it. Yeah, I mean.
That bass line with Hall & Oates.
Yeah. That's it. And those guys.
I mean, that's.
I know, it's hung in there. I mean.
Sarah, smile.
Yeah. Abandoned Luncheonette. It's just one of the first albums I went, God, this is so freaking cool. Yeah, I mean, I've worn them both out.
Okay,
That's a hard question.
It's an easier one. The Hagar twins or the Judds?
I love those guys.
Me too. They kind of have my damn name.
I love those
They kind of have my damn name. I had to throw it in there. You don't know how many
Do we
times.
need to answer that?
How many times growing up it was like, oh, Sammy Hagar, man. No, Hagar. Hey,
I rode the airport plane with those guys one time, and they had the whole frickin' plane in stitches. They were just hysterical.
Oh, man.
And they had an airport car that was like this beat-up Pinto or something. And those two guys in that car leaving the airport, I'm like, that is so good.
Okay, Brooks or Dunn?
Well, Brooks, of course. Ask me something hard.
You lost me.